Hey guys, and happy Thursday. I hope that you're having a great day. We are going to be working today on pages 50 to 53. We're going to be doing a mixed review. So I will help you very minimally. Mostly I'm going to help you read through the problems in text code. Make sure that you are inputting your answers in the Schoology quiz at the end of the class. So you don't need to do it as you go, but please make sure that you enter your answers before you leave for the end of the class period. All right, so number 1 says the cost of 12 cans of cat food at Pete's Pets, including 72-cent sales tax, is $9.60. What is the cost of 1 can, not including sales tax? Okay, so it says the cost of 12 cans of cat food, including 72-cent sales tax, is $9.60. Okay, so let's talk about this. So think about tax. So if I go, I don't know, to the store and it says that a soda is $1, do I just pay $1? Do I just hand the clerk $1? No, they'll say it's $1.18 or whatever, because you have to pay tax as well, right? So I have to pay more. So I'm taking the cost of the 12 cans and I have to add tax to it, right? Which is 72 cents. And that gets me, and it says including tax. So with tax, my price is $9.60, okay? So you need to figure out how much the 12 cans cost first, right? Before you can figure out what is the cost of 1 can. So this is kind of like what we did yesterday. We're talking about unit rate, right? So once you find out what the 12 cans cost, then you can use your word ratio, cost over cans, and you can set up a proportion to help you solve. Okay, so go ahead and press pause, solve number 1, and then we are going to skip number 2, and we're going to move on to number 3. Okay, number 3 says, which equation best represents the relationship between x and y on the graph? Okay, so when I look at the graph, I should remember, or maybe I look down here and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I look at my cheat sheet, I get out my formula chart, and I look for equations. And I see on my formula chart the equation for a linear relationship. Y equals mx plus b, right? And I see a graph, so I know every graph I'm supposed to go and use my colored pencil to color the y-axis, okay? Then you think back, our b is our y-intercept. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, where the line goes through the y-axis. It's the value of y when x is 0. And then we also look at our rate of change. So rate of change is if the line is going uphill or downhill. All right, so again, you're going to go ahead and press pause and work through the problem. Number 4 says a bookcase contains these books: 36 cookbooks, 17 autobiographies, 39 novels, 22 reference books. 1 book is selected at random from the bookcase. Based on the information, which statement is true? Okay, so basically what we need to know is true. And then you're going to go ahead and make sure you're text coding your answer choices to decide and determine the correct answer. So for example, the first one says the book is twice as likely, right? Twice means 2 times as likely to be a cookbook. So cookbook, 36, as a reference book, 22. So it says the cookbook is twice as likely. So the book is twice as likely to be a cookbook. So we're saying that the cookbook is 2 times 22. Well, is 36 equal to 44? No. Okay, so this is what you need to be doing to properly text code your answer choices and solve the problem. Okay, so now we're along to number 5. It says a puppy's weight increased from 12 pounds to 15 pounds. By what percentage did the puppy's weight increase? So we're looking for a percentage of increase, right? We know percent means we set up a proportion, okay? But it said percent increase. So if you remember, if it's a percent increase or a percent decrease, then our proportion is a little different. We still have our percent over 100, but we have change over original is percent over 100. To find change, you're going to do the big minus the small, okay? And remember, our original, if it says from blank to blank, our original is our starting point, right? So from 12 to 15, where did the puppy start at? Okay, so go ahead and solve your proportion to find your percent. Okay, so now we're on number 6. It says Carlos flips a coin 80 times and then rolls a number cube 80 times. So we're doing 2 events, flipping the coin and rolling the number cube. His results are shown in the tables below. Based on Carlos's results, what is the probability that Carlos's coin will land tails up, and then the number cube lands on a 2? So we're looking for heads up, and we're looking for a 2, okay? So we need the probability of tails and the probability of 2. And you are using the probability based on the tables, okay? So make sure on top is always what we're looking for. So, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Okay, I circled the wrong thing. Oh my, sorry. Tails, Miss Cooper. Okay, so tails up and number 2. Okay, so always on top is what we're looking for. So we're looking for tails over the total. So you need to find your total. And then we're looking for the time that number 2 occurs, the frequency that number 2 occurs over the total there. And then what do you always do with probabilities? I'll give you a hint. It is not add. Okay, we always multiply with probabilities. Okay, next problem. It says the diagram shows the dimensions of a triangular prism. It is telling you what it is. Okay, triangular, that means your base is your triangle. The volume of the prism is 420 cubic inches. What is the height of the prism? So it's saying, what is this height right here? Okay, so use your formula chart. Write your volume formula and make sure you find your area of the base and plug in what you know. So make sure you plug in your 420, and we are looking for what is the height. So don't forget, if you shade in your base, remember it's a triangle. Okay, so V equals area of the base times height. And it's a triangle, so big B is A equals 1/2 BH, okay? So plug in your numbers here to solve for big B, and then plug in your volume and solve your equation to solve for H. Okay, a circle has a radius of 16 meters. Which measurement is closest to the circumference? So we're looking for circumference. You have a problem with a circle, so you should be drawing a circle. Okay, so remember, when we are talking about a circle, we are either talking about the diameter or the radius. Okay, radius is a shorter word, so that means it's going from the center to the edge of the circle. Has a radius of 16. Okay, we are looking again for circumference, so use your formula chart to make sure you use the correct formula. Okay, number 9, it says a bag contains only red marbles and blue marbles. The number of red marbles in the bag can be represented by X. So remember, we did ones like this just the other day. So write out red is X. The number of blue marbles is 12 more. Okay, so if you have 12 more, are you taking them away? Are you adding them? What do you think? So 12 more, then 3 times the number of red. So blue is 12 more than 3 times the number, right? 3 times the number, and it's 12 more. So I'm adding 12 to it. And that says the total is 48. Okay, so don't forget, each time I've been talking about this, and there's several variables, we're talking about how many x's here? Well, there's just one. So you add your numbers in front of your variables. Or you think about there's 1 bunny over here, there's 3 bunnies over there. How many bunnies are there in all? Okay, so use that to write your equation and then solve for x. It says, what is x? All right, so number 10, it says a square and a circle were used to create the following figure. Which measurement is the best estimate of the area of the unshaded region of the figure? Okay, so we want this space out here around the circle. Okay, so you should see 2 shapes and think about if we're putting them together or if we're taking them apart. Okay. So you should have 2 formulas here, and it tells you that a square and a circle were used to make it. It says, what is the best estimate of the area of the unshaded region? So use your formula chart. Okay, so now we're going to move on to number 11. Number 11 says a car travels at a constant rate from point M to N. It takes 22 minutes to travel at that distance, okay? Let y represent the distance and x represent time, okay? Which equation best represents the distance traveled? So we're talking about a constant rate. So constant is k equals y over x, okay? And it's telling you y is the distance and x is the time. Okay, so you guys should be able to figure that out from there. Okay, so number 12 says the scale model. Okay, keyword here is scale. Scale model. Okay, of a cell tower is shown. The scale used is 1 to 60. What is the actual height? Okay, so remember, scale, we always set up a proportion and match up scale over actual, or I'm sorry, drawing over actual. All right, and then 13, circle graph shows the percent of time different people took turns driving on a 20-hour road trip. How many more hours did Dan drive than Lena? Okay, so we are talking about percents, so you guys should know what we're going to do to solve this problem. and pay attention to the wording. Okay, we did problems like this in class and it was on your quiz a couple weeks ago. So make sure you place your answer correctly in the griddable. And again, I need all of your answers put in Schoology. That way we can track and see which ones you guys need more help on. We have about a week left before the test. So study for your quiz tomorrow. Have a great day.